Welcome to Revisit Books podcast, where we turn books into bite-sized wisdom you can use every day.
Today we're getting into Ryan Holiday's Stillness Is the Key. And this isn't just another self-help book, really. It's more like an operating philosophy.
Yeah, for dealing with, well, everything in the 21st century,
Yeah,
the chaos.
exactly.
When I first picked it up, the title, Stillness is the Key, it almost felt passive, like
Yeah.
it was just about meditating or something.
Mm-hmm.
But Holiday flips that right away. He says stillness isn't just sitting quietly, it's actually this dynamic, powerful state.
Right. It's the foundation. It's what allows you to have clarity, self-mastery, discipline, especially when everything around you is just loud.
And it's not like he invented this stuff.
Mm.
He's pulling from some pretty heavy hitters, philosophically speaking.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
deeply rooted in Stoicism,
Yeah.
Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus. But he weaves in Buddhist ideas, too, that introspection part.
Which gives it that weight, I think. It feels timeless, because it is timeless wisdom, just applied now.
Precisely. It's about managing your inner world no matter what the external world throws at you.
Now, some people say Holiday just repackages old ideas,
Mm-hmm.
but his background, right, he was deep in the marketing world, high-pressure stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that make his argument for slowing down feel more earned, less academic?
That's a really good point. Yeah, his background gives him street cred, you could say. He knows the pressure cooker.
Mm-hmm.
His earlier books, The Obstacle is the Way, Ego is the Enemy, they dealt more with action and ambition. This one feels like the missing piece, the internal condition you need for the other two to actually work.
Right.
He understands speed and high stakes. So when he says slow down, be still, it carries weight for people in similar demanding roles. Leaders, creatives, anyone under scrutiny.
So the mission, then, is really practical. It's showing a way to find meaning, find excellence, even with all the noise, the information overload we're all swimming in.
Mm-hmm.
And he uses great examples, not just philosophers, but like Sadaharu, the baseball player,
Mm-hmm.
Winston Churchill, even Anne Frank. It makes it very grounded.
It does. It shows this isn't just theory, it's how real people navigated immense challenges.
Okay, so who is this really for? Who, listening right now, would get the most out of thinking about stillness?
Well, the material kind of points to a few groups who might be feeling specific modern pressures. Chances are, if you're listening, you might see yourself in one of these.
Like the leader, or maybe just the thinker, who feels completely overwhelmed, constantly reacting, instead of, choosing that CNN effect idea.
Yeah, the CNN effect captures it well. That constant barrage of information, the feeling you have to respond instantly to everything, global news, social media pings.
It creates stress.
Huge stress. So if you find yourself making hasty decisions driven by anxiety or just the sheer speed of things, instead of deliberate, thoughtful choices, this is for you. Stillness isn't a luxury in that context.
It's like a necessary buffer.
Exactly. It's the space between stimulus and response where this smart decision lives.
Then there's another group, maybe people who've achieved a lot, external success, the career, the money, but inside, things still feel off. Turmoil, maybe even emptiness.
Ah, yes. The paradox of success without inner peace. The book uses Tiger Woods as a powerful, if cautionary, example.
Right, unbelievable discipline on the golf course.
Unmatched. But his personal life, chaos. It shows that external success, even incredible discipline in one area, doesn't automatically fix what's going on inside.
So if you've climbed the ladder, got the things, but you still feel that inner struggle, stillness is about addressing that.
Yeah.
The internal stuff success can't touch.
It forces you to look at the wounds, the patterns, that external achievements just wallpaper over.
And finally, it's for the practical learner, right? Someone listening who wants clear structure, real examples, not just philosophy, but how to.
Definitely. If you want concepts broken down into tangible actions, this delivers. It connects calm to concrete things like how JFK handled the Cuban Missile Crisis or how an athlete overcame a slump.
It gives you steps, things you can actually try, without feeling like you need to become a monk overnight.
It's about the mechanics of achieving self-mastery, using examples from history and today. It's practical, not mystical.
Okay, let's get into those mechanics. Holiday breaks stillness down into 3 areas, right? Mind, soul, and body. And they're all connected?
Completely interconnected. You can't really achieve stillness in one if the others are out of whack. Neglect your body, your mind suffers. Neglect your soul, well, everything feels empty. It has to be holistic.
Right. So let's start with the first one, the domain of the mind, getting clarity, being present.
This is really about wrestling back control of your attention. Our minds are constantly under siege, like we said. So the first step is mental stillness.
And takeaway 1 is huge. Resist hasty decisions and practice presence. The JFK example during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Wow, Talk about high stakes.
It's the ultimate case study. October 62, Kennedy gets the photos, Soviet missiles in Cuba, 90 miles away.
Unimaginable pressure.
And the immediate reaction from many of his advisors, the military brass, strike now, hit them hard. Waiting looks weak.
The impulse must have been overwhelming. Fight or flight on a global scale.
Absolutely. But Kennedy, he didn't bite. He resisted that impulse. He deliberately slowed everything down. He stayed calm externally, even took time alone to think, walk around. He encouraged debate, even dissent within his team. He created mental space where there was none.
So stillness wasn't passive waiting, it was strategic patience.
Tactical patience, exactly. Choosing the naval blockade instead of an immediate airstrike bought time. It gave the Soviets room to back down, kept options open. It showed that leadership needs that mental calm, that deliberation, not just aggression. He managed his mind under insane pressure.
Saved the world, basically.
Yeah.
But, okay, that's a massive scale.
Yeah.
How does this presence idea play out in, say, quieter moments? The book mentions Marina Abramovich.
Ah, yes. The artist is present. A totally different kind of pressure, but maybe just as intense internally.
Sitting silently at MoMA for 750 hours, just looking at people.
Just being there, fully present. She said it was incredibly difficult, doing almost nothing. No script, no object, just being. And the effect on people who sat opposite her, profound. Tears, connection.
It really hammers home that line from the book. There is no greatness in the future, or clarity, or happiness, or peace. There's only this moment.
If you're not here now, you miss it all. You forfeit it.
And being here now is tough because of the constant input, right? Which leads to takeaway too. Limit your inputs and empty the mental space.
Yes, you have to fight the flood. That phrase, a wealth of information, often leads to a poverty of attention. That's the core conflict.
We're forced into being reactive, so
Yeah.
we need to consciously choose what we let in, like an information diet.
Exactly. Be ruthless. Filter the noise. Holiday mentions Napoleon delaying non-urgent mail.
Knowing it might solve itself.
Right. But a more modern tool is the Eisenhower matrix. That simple grid.
Urgent, important, do it now. Not urgent, important, schedule it. Urgent, not important, delegate. Not urgent, not important.
Get rid of it. Eliminate. It forces you to prioritize, to actively create that mental space by deciding what not to let in.
But it's not just filtering. It's also about actively emptying the mind for peak performance. The Sean Green example is fascinating.
Yeah, the baseball player. 2002, LA Dodgers, stuck in a terrible hitting slump.
Which must be mental torture for an athlete, overthinking everything.
Totally. As Yogi Berra said, you can't think and hit at the same time. Green was stuck in his head, analyzing, worrying.
So what did he do? More practice, more analysis.
Nope. The opposite. He embraced mental emptiness, turned to Zen ideas, focused purely on the present moment, the physical act. He used that phrase, chop wood, carry water.
Just the mechanics, not the outcome.
Exactly, just the swing. And the result? He broke the slump spectacularly, hit 4 home runs in one game.
Wow. So emptying the mind allowed his training, his instinct, to take over.
Precisely. He created a vacuum by stopping the overthinking. For us, it means carving out time where we shut off inputs and just focus on the task. Protect that mental space. Make it ready.
Keeping the mind clear. Which brings us nicely to takeaway 3. Cultivate introspection through journaling and deep thought. Emptying creates space. Journaling helps organize what's in that space.
Right. Journaling isn't just a nice to have. Holiday presents it as foundational, a tool for clarity, for emotional processing. Think of Anne Frank's diary.
Under the most terrifying conditions, writing was her lifeline.
It allowed her to process, fear, observe, even work on herself. That line, paper has more patience than people. It's so true.
The journal just listens, lets you untangle thoughts, see things more objectively, ask those hard questions you otherwise avoid.
Questions like, where am I getting in my own way, or what am I avoiding? It's self-therapy in a way.
And besides journaling, there's the need to just slow down and think deeply, not just react. Fred Rogers is the model here.
It's Rogers, yeah. An inspiration for deliberate thought. Quick judgments, like the military advisors wanted with Cuba, often lead to big mistakes.
Holiday uses the analogy of muddy water settling.
Right. Let the sediment fall, let the clarity emerge. Deep thought isn't just emptiness, it's focused, sustained engagement with something complex, like the Zen concept of Satori.
Those sudden moments of insight.
Exactly. They don't come from forcing it. They come after patient, deep contemplation. You give the problem space, sustained attention, and eventually the connections form. Stillness allows that process.
Okay, so the mind domain is about control. Slowing down, filtering, clearing space, and then using that space for presence and deep thought.
Yeah.
But that alone isn't the whole picture for happiness, right?
Not at all. Mental clarity without inner peace is incomplete. That brings us to the domain of the soul. Character, contentment, connection.
This feels like the heart of it, maybe.
Yeah.
Where lasting happiness or unhappiness really lives.
It's definitely where the internal battles are often fought, which leads to takeaway 4. Virtue is sufficient, but unresolved trauma destroys stillness.
Virtue is sufficient. That's a strong statement. What does virtue mean here? It sounds a bit old-fashioned.
It's not about being prudish or perfect. Think moral and civic excellence, honesty, patience, kindness, justice, courage. Living that way, the Stoics argued, eliminates inner turmoil. It is the source of peace. Character shapes your fate.
But we see people who seem successful, maybe even disciplined externally, who clearly don't have that inner peace. Back to Tiger Woods.
He's the stark example again. Incredible discipline in golf, winning the U.S. Open on a broken leg. But internally, turmoil.
Rooted in childhood stuff, the pressure from his father.
Exactly. Unresolved trauma, suppressed emotions. It led to destructive behavior, that profound emptiness, despite all the success.
So the point is, you can meditate all day, sleep 8 hours, but if your soul is carrying deep wounds,
stillness will always be out of reach. You have to address the inner conflict, heal the inner child, as they say.
the book offers a formula, something like, give what you didn't get, love more, drop the old story.
Simple words, incredibly hard work. Dropping the old story means realizing you aren't defined by past hurts, stopping the cycle. It takes real emotional honesty, forgiveness. That's soul work.
And when that work isn't done, people often chase external things to fill the void, which connects to takeaway 5. Beware desire and recognize when you have enough.
Desire for power, sex, money, status is positioned as the great enemy of self-mastery. Look at JFK's personal life again.
His compulsions put everything at risk, despite his political skill.
Right. If you're enslaved by your urges, you aren't truly free or still, no matter your title. And envy. That's called out as maybe the worst desire.
Because it traps you in constant comparison, never satisfied.
Always looking over your shoulder, measuring your insides against someone else's outsides. The advice is to really examine your desires. What's the real cost?
There's that great story about Joseph Heller, the author of Catch-22.
Oh, yeah. At a party, Kurt Vonnegut points out some billionaire host, saying he probably made more money that day than Heller ever did from his famous book.
And Heller's response is just perfect.
Yeah, but I've got something he can never have.
Which is?
The knowledge that I've got enough.
Ah, that's it, isn't it? The realization, that's freedom, that's stillness.
It really is. Lao Tzu said, when you realize there's nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. It's about internal contentment, not external accumulation. Stop chasing, stop measuring, and you find peace.
Okay, so we've covered virtue, handling desire.
Yeah.
With the last piece of the soul domain. Takeaway 6. Stillness is best when shared. We aren't meant to do this alone.
Definitely not. Isolation breeds emptiness. Johnny Cash is the example here. After his first marriage ended, he had success but felt utterly alone. The real pain was lack of connection.
Seneca said something similar, right? You can't enjoy anything valuable without someone to share it with.
Exactly. Relationships, partner, family, friends, mentors, they aren't distractions from achieving stillness or success. They are essential to it.
But they take work, virtue, empathy.
They do. But look at people like Angela Merkel or John Stuart Mill. Strong partnerships fueled their capacity, didn't hinder it. Love, connection, they are foundational.
So the idea is, by ourselves, we're a fraction of what we can be. True stillness involves that connection, that shared humanity, the Stoic idea of sympathia.
That interconnectedness of all things, yes. Conquering anger, practicing empathy. That's part of finding peace both within and with others.
Okay, mind and soul covered. That leaves the third leg of the stool, the domain of the body. Stillness is physical too.
Absolutely crucial. You can't have a still mind or soul in an agitated, exhausted body. The physical state directly impacts the mental and emotional.
Which brings us to takeaway 7. Prioritize sleep and practice non-action. Saying no. The sleep part seems obvious, but maybe we underestimate it. Dov Charney, the American Apparel guy.
His story is a cautionary tale about burnout. His company's implosion was linked in part to his extreme lack of sleep. He just didn't sleep.
And the research backs this up. Being sleep-deprived is like being drunk, decision-wise.
Pretty much. Impaired judgment, poor impulse control. You simply cannot make good, clear-headed decisions when you're running on empty. Prioritizing sleep is prioritizing mental clarity.
And protecting that sleep, that energy, requires non-action. Saying, no, this sounds like the Fabius Maximus strategy against Hannibal.
Fabius the Delayer, yeah. He was under huge pressure in Rome to attack Hannibal directly, risk a big, decisive battle.
But he refused.
He refused. He chose strategic patience, harassing supply lines, avoiding direct confrontation, wearing Hannibal down. It's like the Taoist concept of wu wei.
Which isn't doing nothing, right? It's effortless action, acting with the flow.
Exactly, choosing strategy over impulse. For Fabius, restraint was the stronger, wiser move.
And for us, today, the application is learning to say no.
Learning to say no strategically, protecting your time, your energy. Every yes is a no to something else. Is the trade-off worth it? Saying no to trivial things frees you up for what actually matters. It preserves your peace.
Conserving energy lets you build sustainable practices like Takeaway 8, build routines, and find restorative hobbies. Routine sounds boring.
It can sound boring, but it's actually freeing. Consistent routines, like Mr. Rogers had, reduce decision fatigue. You automate the basics so your mental energy is free for important work.
Order is a prerequisite of excellence.
Right. And when done sincerely, routine becomes ritual, a predictable, sacred space for focus.
We also need release valves, right? Hobbies. Churchill's the classic example, painting and bricklaying while running a war.
Seems counterintuitive, but it was essential for him. These weren't just time fillers, they were restorative.
How so?
The Greek idea of scholae leisure for creative or intellectual pursuits, not just zoning out. Painting demanded focused attention, pulling his mind entirely away from the war. Bricklaying was physical, tangible creation, the opposite of slow, complex politics. They were stress relief, a way to reconnect to the present.
And then there's just walking. So simple. Kierkegaard was a big walker.
Huge. He felt he walked himself into his best thoughts, believed you could walk away from almost any burden.
And science supports this now, right? Walking boosts creativity, reduces stress.
Absolutely. It's mindful presence in motion, a simple, powerful tool for physical and mental stillness, accessible to almost everyone.
That brings us to the last physical point. Takeaway 9. Embrace solitude and be a human being, not a human doing. Solitude gets a bad rap sometimes, confused with loneliness.
Right. But Holiday defines solitude as chosen reflection time, essential for deep thinking, for generating good ideas, away from the noise.
Bill Gates' Think Weeks.
Perfect example, totally unplugged, just reading and thinking. Solitude is where you strategize while others are just reacting. It's the school of genius.
And this counters the work ethic trap, the idea that busy equals important.
Yes. Overwork can become a destructive vice. Look at historical figures who burned out, made poor decisions from exhaustion. Prince Albert's early death is mentioned.
You forget the being part of human being.
That's the crucial reminder. It's human being, not human doing for a reason. Protect your physical and mental energy. You can't make good choices or live fully when you're running on fumes. Value existence, not just productivity.
Okay, so weaving it all together, mind, soul, body, they all have to work in concert for real stillness.
Exactly. It's a holistic alignment. Clarity and presence from the mind, virtue, contentment, connection from the soul, and rest, routine, physical grounding from the body. When they harmonize, that's when you find the inner peace that fuels performance and happiness.
And this peace, this stillness,
Yeah.
it's not about checking out. It actually enables courageous action when it's needed. The Andu Formantel example is powerful.
The philosopher who died saving children from drowning, yes, stillness isn't cowardice or withdrawal. It prepares you. It builds the inner foundation, the virtue, the clarity, so that when the moment demands action, you can act bravely, effectively, not from panic or self-interest.
Deeds, not just contentions. Stillness fuels the right deeds.
Precisely.
And the final layer, confronting mortality, memento mori. How does that fit with stillness?
Thinking about death, acknowledging it, is presented as vital. Why? Because denying death fuels so much of our frantic chasing pleasure, money, legacy. We fight and worry because we ignore the ultimate reality.
So accepting it brings peace, focus.
It helps you focus on what truly matters now. Living a well-employed life, as the ancients called it. People like Emperor Antoninus Pius, Buddha, Epicurus, they faced death calmly because they'd focused on virtue, meaning, and care during their lives. Contemplating the end helps you live well now, appreciate the moments, focus on the essential.
So seeking stillness isn't just about managing stress today. It's about how you live your entire life, and even how you approach the end.
It's about living and dying well, finding meaning, goodness, and peace throughout.
That's today's breakdown. While this discussion cannot replace the book's full text, it can offer a glimpse into its teachings. I hope you found this discussion helpful, and I look forward to sharing more. Let me know what book next you want to discuss.